think the main motivation for me with bodybuilding is knowing that there's no such thing as the perfect body. But I'm gonna chase it as hard as I can.
Modern bodybuilders are after the perfect physique, but this raises the question, at what cost? Welcome back to the Y. I'm Lauren Magarino. The bodybuilding industry has seen some significant deaths over the last couple of years, and we've heard some powerful perspectives from leaders who say it is time to turn the focus on harmful practices in the sport. Our next guest has been a leading voice in the industry for decades, chronicling its evolution in his series of Generation Iron films, which we saw a moment ago. Welcome now, Vlad Yudin. Vlad, thank you for coming on the show. And I want to start with the high standards professional bodybuilders are trying to meet. How do the expectations from coaches and judges really contribute to the use of extreme training measures?
It's great to be on your show. I think that, personally looking at the industry, I think that it's been evolving over the years, and, the physique's definitely grown a lot since the beginning of bodybuilding. But that's because bodybuilding is an extreme sport. And, ultimately it's health and fitness, but when it comes to competitive bodybuilding, they want to take the physiques to the next level. And when it comes to judges and coaches, ultimately the judges have to judge what's in front of them every year. So I don't think it's necessarily the judges who are responsible for the bodybuilding to be extreme sport. I think it's basically it's evolution. What happened, since the 70s to the 80s, 90s, to what it is right now. Ultimately, it's an extreme sport. It just keeps on evolving, and who knows what's going to happen next,
Yeah, I mean, given that there are high standards that have come out of this evolution that you've described, why isn't there widespread regular testing across the industry for performance enhancement drugs?
Well, there are actually quite a few organizations in bodybuilding that actually test, and they call themselves drug-free organizations, and they impose testing on their competitions. One of the biggest, organizations, which is the IFBB Pro, they have a gray area basically where the promoters of the shows decide whether or not the show is going to be tested or not tested. But when it comes to that, there's two things. First of all, testing is a very, very expensive procedure. That's one thing. So a lot of promoters choose not to do it. And secondly, in many ways, the audience of bodybuilding, they decide what they want to see on the stage, right? So if they see, quote unquote, freak show, which is physiques that are taken to the next level, which are unattainable by most people, that's attractive, to that audience. So ultimately, the promoters don't necessarily want to take that away from the audience, So therefore, a lot of them don't do the testing.
Okay, well, Vlad Yudin, we appreciate your insight and attempt to try to answer these questions as we see these headlines coming out. Thank you for joining us on The Y.
Thank you so much.